Welcome to Retro Scale Modeling. This is part 10 of DeAgostini's Star Wars Millennium Falcon. Scale is approximately 172. In part 10, I'm going to be carrying on where I left off part 9. More work done on the small corridor that I started to build and extending the framework once more on the actual build. So let's jump into this and see how I get on. So I'm kicking things off with issue 28, and this issue is predominantly for the corridor. So we can have a look at the instructions there. This is what I'll be doing. The bottom picture shows how it should look when it's finished, but that won't be until later on after most things are completed. So first of all, I have to take the padding off the sprue for the archway. They're quite small parts, but nevertheless they do need cleaned up. Just have to be careful because they are so small. I'm cementing these in straight away. If you've watched the other videos, you've seen me do this on a few occasions now. And I'm placing them in one at a time as I go along, making sure each one just clips into place. If I do them all in one go as such, there's a habit of knocking some off as I go along. And if the cement is already starting to weld, it can deform the part. So it's better just to do them individually and not rush it. And just placing the last one in. This took about 45 minutes to complete because of the wait time and so forth. And now I'm adding the lining to the upper section of the corridor, and again they are applied much the same way as everything else. So I keep on saying it, but it's a lot of repetitive work. It's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. However, even though it's repetitive, these linings are sometimes difficult to get a proper fit. So it does take a bit of time just to make sure they're lined up. So I'm placing in the arch now. I'm not cementing this in place just yet until I put on the top, just to make sure that I've got everything in position. And then once I'm happy with it, I'll just place on the top. There's a little location point on top of the archway that links into the top, so everything should be in alignment. So once I'm happy with that, I'll put on the locking ring, and this just sits on the front here, and this helps secure the whole tube so it won't come apart. So I don't need any clamps or any holding device, just to keep it closed. Moving on to issue 29, and this issue is the main support ring for the framework going in. As you can see, it's quite a large piece. The good thing about this is it has a little notch here that corresponds to the framework, so it can only go in one position. So it's essential that I get this lined up to fit in here, because also once the outer hull gets attached, you also need all the location points to line up. So this little nook in the frame does help line it up quite well. To attach it, I'm just putting in one screw initially just to hold it in position so it's not going to slip, and then I'm going to be turning it around, as you can see here, and placing the not the last screw but the last screw but one into position again as a placeholder, so that I can freely line it up. As you can see, there's quite a lot of movement in there, and as I said, it's very important that I get this lined up 100%. And once that's done, I can then just go around the plate and secure each individual screw. There's quite a lot to attach here. It takes a bit of time, but every part of the frame is now getting attached to the main inner ring, and this will strengthen up the whole frame immeasurably. And once all the screws are in, I'm just giving them a final twist to tighten them up. So again, it's important not to over tighten screws. It's just giving them a half twist to make sure everything is secure. So we'll just flip this over. You can see the other side now and how it's all taking shape. Going on to issue 30. And issue 30 is dealing with the next segment of frame. So this frame is going to be taking parts from a couple of different issues, but like before, I'm making up the rib first. Actually, the instructions tell you to make this up last, but I don't see the point of that. I think it's better to make it up first so you can see how the alignment is going. The frame is going to be attached slightly different now because of the inner ring. So I'm attaching the bottom part first onto the ring before attaching the wedge onto the actual frame itself. Again, this ensures proper alignment with the inner ring, something that really is essential, as I keep on saying. And then the middle section of this segment, as I go along, these segments do get easier to attach. One, because the frame is more rigid now, and there's less bending and pressure on the actual bracket point, so that the screws go straight in. When it began, some of the screws were trying to off thread because the frame was twisting. And now for the main section to go on, the exact same way as the other two, just lining them up before placing in the screw. And then for the rib again goes like the new section, it goes underneath the actual main ring, inner ring. It's tricky to get this aligned because it sort of sits on the frame and under the ring as well, so there's not a lot of room on it. This is why I'm just putting a place screw in the middle of the jig first of all, just in case I need to slide it more into position. And once it's in place, I'll just start adding the other screws, the next one on the inner ring, then just working my way down the actual rib. And this is where I'll end part 10. I've got a little bit more work to do on the jig that supplied another part, so I'll just add that to the mold for the jig, and that's just placed in like the other one, just dovetailed together and held with a bit of tape. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, and you'll be updated with all the updates for this build and of course future builds. Hit that like button, don't forget to share the video, and of course you can leave a comment. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.